So I'm gonna create a simple joint structure real quick, and some cubes be parented to those joints. Skeleton, joint tool, and just snap it to the grid. Enter. Delete that one. Create a cube. And my translate tool. And snap that. Did that wrong. Okay. I'm going to snap that to the center. Now I'm going to create a cube. I'm going to snap its pivot point to one side just so we see it better. Then I'm going to snap that to the grid. Here, I'm going to scale it up. I'm going to parent it. I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm just going to create a few of these. Okay. So let's say this is the arm. I'm going to select all these and scale them down. Okay, a little bit of separation, just so you guys can see it a little better. Okay. So now I need to put them in a hierarchy real quick. It would, but then I'd have to do some skinning. I'm trying to avoid doing any skinning. I'm just going to parent these like that. Okay, so now I have my pretend forearm. Okay, except I just realized I did the hierarchy all wrong. So let me fix that real quick. I need to parent this. All of these need to be parented to the elbow. So I'll go ahead and rename this just for clarity's sake. Point 2 will be the wrist. And then this will be the I'm doing these backwards. Okay, well, I'll just rearrange them. So this one will be the little forearm _1. So the forearm _2. And I got to put them in the right place. So the wrist should be there. Forearm 1, I want to be there. Forearm 2. Okay. Now, you guys won't have to worry about all that part. It's just for my clarity's sake. And this is already built into your rig, except for that you need to add 2 joints that are halfway up the wrist. Like that. So wrist, elbow, forearm 1 and forearm 2. Now we need to connect these up so we get a partial rotation on these 2 middle, the forearm joints. So to do that, all we need to do is I'm going to select I'm going to select those 3 things, and I'm going to go to my hypergraph, and I'm going to frame it in the inputs-outputs mode, or connection editor. No, hypergraph input-output editor. Okay. Now I need to create a rendering node to multiply divide. So if I, on the left, I click on utilities, that will narrow down my selection, and I'm looking for the multiply divide node. If I click that, it creates a new node. I have to reframe my selection in the inputs outputs editor. And there's my multiply divide node. I'm going to go and rename it for clarity's sake. Okay. Now, my wrist needs to be an input to this multiply divide node. So if I hold down Shift and middle mouse click and drag over to the forearm multiply divide node, it'll pull up into the connection editor. Now, I have this input 1 and input 2. Input 1 is going to be my rotate Y, or actually I need to double check to see what my rotate I'm using is. Select my wrist only, switch to my rotate tool. X is what I need. Okay, so I need my rotate X, and then when I select rotate X, you notice that these gray out. I can't connect it that way. So I have to open up the input 1, and I need to, so that I can see the input 1X, input 1Y, input 1Z. I only need 2 of these to be connected to the rotate X. So I'm going to connect them by adding to the selection on the right side of the connection editor. Okay, so those are now connected. Now, if I select, and you'll see that it made this connection in here, and it added these nodes called unit conversion nodes. You don't need to worry about those. They're going to be, Maya will automatically create those for you. And it appears that I connected them to the wrong joint. So, let me do this again. Shift, I'm going to select the wrist, middle mouse click on the wrist and drag it to the forearm. Not sure why it did that. I thought I selected the right thing, but so I want to rotate X. Okay. Now I can get rid of these unit conversions for the forearm 1. Okay, now I did that right. Now I want to select the multiply divide node and go to my channel box. And here's the input 1 and the input 2s. So the input 1, let's use that to drive the forearm 1 node. So the forearm 1 is this one here. So it needs to rotate 1/3 the distance of the rotation of the wrist. Okay? So I'm just going to multiply that